Hi, this is Anaya. Welcome to the channel. Let us first thank the Most High for this time His grace, kindness, and mercy. Today's message is about the story of Purim, Mordecai, Queen Esther, and King Ahasuerus. Also, it is a reminder of where we are on the Hebrew calendar. They observed the 14th day of the 12th month, Adar, and the 15th day of the same yearly. It was about the days when the Jews rested from their enemies in the month which was turned from sorrow to joy, which will be on March 6th this year. We'll look at a time chart in a few. So this isn't one of our feast days, but it was a day to be remembered because it tells of salvation of the Jews. It was a time when Esther, who was a Jew, went to speak to the king when she was forbidden to see him because it was during her purification time. But her family, Mordecai, let her know that she had to go before the king to tell him that all of our people were going to perish at the hand of his officer Haman, which he was unaware of, along with the fact that she was a Jew. You gotta read the whole story. Kind of makes Ahasuerus someone to be respected because of him accepting Esther for who she was. Esther 8:7-8. Then the king Ahasuerus said unto Esther the queen, and to Mordecai the Jew, Behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and him they have hanged upon the gallows, because he laid his hand upon the Jews. Write ye also for the Jews as it liketh you, in the king's name, and seal it with the king's ring. For the writing which is written in the king's name, and sealed with the king's ring, may no man reverse. Esther 9:1-2. Now in the 12th month, that is, the month Adar, on the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment and his decree drew near to be put in execution, in the day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to have power over them, though it was turned to the contrary, that the Jews had rule over them that hated them. The Jews gathered themselves together in their cities throughout all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus to lay hand on such as sought their hurt, and no man could withstand them, for the fear of them fell upon all people. Esther 9:16-22. But the other Jews that were in the king's provinces gathered themselves together, stood for their lives, and had rest from their enemies, and slew of their foes 75,000. But they laid not their hands on the prey. On the 13th day of the month Adar, and on the 14th day of the same, rested they, and made it a day of feasting and gladness. Esther 9:18-19. But the Jews that were at Shushan assembled together on the 13th day thereof, and on the 14th thereof, and on the 15th day of the same they rested, and made it a day of feasting and gladness. Therefore the Jews of the villages that dwell in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month Adar a day of gladness and feasting, and a good day, and of sending portions one to another. Esther 20-22. And Mordecai wrote these things, and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus, both nigh and far, to establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar, and the 15th day of the same yearly, as the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, in the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor. So these are the charts from timeanddate.com. The Hebrew New Year for last year, 2022, will be our starting point, because that'll be the first month, because February was the 12th month this year. So the Hebrew New Year is always after the spring equinox on the first new moon, making March 21st of 2022's new moon being the first month. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is the 12th month, February 20th, new moon of 2023. So from February 20th, counting 14 days, will take us to March 6th of 2023. Esther 9:25 through 28. But when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letters that his wicked device, meaning Haman's, his officer, which he devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head, and that he and his sons should be hanged on the gallows. Wherefore they call these days Purim, after the name of Pur. Therefore, for all the words of this letter, and of that which they had seen concerning this matter, and which had come unto them, the Jews ordained and took upon them, and upon their seed, and upon all such as joined themselves unto them, so as it should not fail, that they will keep these 2 days according to their writing, and according to their appointed time every year, and that these days should be remembered and kept throughout their every generation, every family, every province, and every city, and that these days of Purim should not fail from among the Jews, nor the memorial of them perish from their seed. So these are the feast days that we're to celebrate 3 times a year. We got Passover, the Feast of Weeks or Pentecost, and the Feast of Ingathering or Tabernacles at the end of the year. You can pause to read. So there were some people saying that the Most High hates our feast days, and that just made me wonder, are these infiltration or added verses? Because we have Exodus 20:8 here at the bottom that says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. And then we have in Exodus 12:14 and 16 through 18 that says that we are to observe and remember the feast days. So this is up to you to discern. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and you shall keep it a feast to the Most High throughout your generations. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. And in the first day, there shall be an holy convocation, and in the 7th day, there shall be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. And you shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall you observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at even. So these are speaking about some feast days. And these verses tell us that the lights in the firmament are for signs, for seasons, and for days and years. And I believe that these are for calculating the days and the feasts. Zephaniah 3:18 and 19. I will gather those among you who grieve over the appointed feasts, so that you will no longer suffer reproach. Behold, at that time I will deal with all who afflict you. I will save the lame and gather the scattered, and I will appoint praise and fame for the disgrace throughout the earth. So when I seen this last verse, I will appoint praise and fame, it just made me wonder, I think, how we're supposed to give all praises to the Most High alone. We don't know what our Creator will do for us. So it just makes me think of the disgrace being vindicated or made known to everyone that we are the Most High's and we should not be touched anymore. So I just had to look up a definition for praise. So that will be all for now. I thank you for listening. May the Most High forgive, heal, guide, and protect the Jew seeds, the true believers, and all who love and glorify Him, and our loved ones. May there be truth, peace, happiness, health, and deliverance, and salvation. In His Most High name and grace we plead.